Hi, I'm Captain Larry Bell with Texas Fishing Tips. This is your weekly fishing report.
Alrighty, down here on the San Antonio shoreline toward Cottonwood Bayou, all the way down toward Panther, all these little back lakes, man. Get up in these back lakes, find you some grass. Grass is the key. It is the absolute key. If you cannot find grass up in this area, you're not going to find your fish unless you just happen to snag one as you throw it into an area. Grass are holding some decent trout. Again, be great if you'll do a catch and release this year on trout, but the redfish are scattered throughout this, all up and down here. Some of these back lakes are holding some decent trout. You have to work. You're going to have to work for them, man. The top water bait's been good in these lakes. Your weedless setup with your down south or paddle tail of some of your choice in some of these back lakes have done well. The lele, if you know what the lele is, it's just a small top water bait that's done really well. Also a wake bait. If you have a wake bait that's got the small bill on the front of it to keep it just below the surface, those baits right there have been pretty productive for your redfish. Again, if you can find some bait, you can find some redfish. If you're going to find some grass, you'll find your trout and your redfish, but you're going to have to work for them. There's this right now up in this area here is not the easiest place to fish, so it's going to take a little time, but there are some fish there. Cedar Bayou Flat, all this area in here, there is some decent grass that's up in here. Our water levels have been up and down, so make sure that you're paying attention to your tides. This is a key thing for this particular area here because it will shallow up on you really quick if you're not familiar with that. Those of you that are familiar know this. Continue to work your top water baits, your wake baits, your down south lures in here. It's all got a nice, pretty solid bottom. But there's decent grass in here. There's spotty bait that's working in the area here. They have come across some black drum. Of course, throwing artificials, it's a little bit more difficult to catch black drum on it, but you can do it. Little John is prime bait for using that if that's what your primary target's going to be, is black drum. So put on your Little John and work that all up in this area here because there is some there. There are some scattered redfish over the shell pads and the edges of the grass that are in this area here. Just continue to work, but again, it's going to be a slow go. You're going to have to be patient in this area. So if you're going to spend time up here in the Mesquite Bay area, get on that shoreline, work it up and down, take your time with it. You'll find some fish. They'll be there, but again, you're going to have to be patient with them because it is not fast and furious right now. The redfish are scattered over it. Again, some black drum and a few trout are sprinkled in there as well. These little back lakes right up here on Jaybird Point, all up here, down here to Sherman's, this big back lake back here. There's some scattered grass that's in it. The primary bait for this particular area here has been topwater or a wake bait. If you don't know what a wake bait is, go to Academy, go to one of your local your tackle stores, find you a wake bait and get one. These things are really dynamic, got a lot of action on them, and catches both trout and redfish. Redfish just about can't resist them right now, especially if you can find some that are kind of cruising these shorelines that are back up in here. They're kind of hugging close to the shoreline. A little bit of bait that's working in this area. Again, it's going to be predicated on what your water level is doing. If you don't have a lot of water in there, don't waste your time. They're not going to be in there. It's just not going to happen. Work the outer edges out here all the way down to Sherman's, all the way down toward Spalding Bight area. There's scattered grass out deeper. You can work that with your down south, working it over an 1/8 ounce jig over that grass, working the edges of it. Pick your potholes, pick the edges. Primary things, if you can locate some bait that's hanging in there, you would have a great opportunity to catch some good fish. Up here in St. Charles, all along the shoreline here, again, all this area out here, you got some deeper grass that's out here. Again, that is the ticket. Got to find the grass and you'll find some fish, man. If you got some bait that's working in amongst that grass, this is where these fish are holding at. Some of these fish are being consistently caught. Some better trout are being caught in the 3 to 5 foot range. Your redfish are a little bit tighter in that 3 foot or less range. This is where the top water bait comes in. It's been really good. Again, the wake bait has been really good. The down south out deeper. The other thing that's been really good, especially for the redfish, has been the Marker 54 jerk shrimp, the hard bait specifically. That thing's been dynamite. You can work that thing free lined. You can work it on a popping cork if you want. Shrimp's been pretty much the ticket talking to different live bait guys they've been throwing a lot of shrimp, and they've been pretty successful with it. So that Marker 54 jerk shrimp really is a great substitute. Man, it is outstanding, and it really works. Got a lot of action on it. Redfish love it, and you'll find you some good fish. They're all up and down this area here, up there in St. Charles, all the way up to Egg Point, all the way down and around that area there. But again, just remember, the water temps are coming up, alligators starting to cruise. So if you're going to wade these areas, make sure you're aware of your surroundings of some of these big cats that are laying around up there. Down here in Port Bay, all the shoreline that's on here, on this eastern shoreline, got some nice scattered grass that's in here. It's not a lot, but there's a little bit that's hanging in there. Just have to work around, find it, locate it with your feet. Work this little bend that's down in here and continue on around. If you want to run your boat, if your boat is able to get back underneath that 188 bridge and get all the way back in the other side of Port Bay, there's some good grass that's back there. Again, it's sporadic, scattered about, but there's some black drum that are hanging back there in that particular bay system back there. So again, you put your Little John on back there, you can put your lay on back there, top water bait. There's some scattered redfish that are in there, a few trout, catching those on the down souths, and the Little Johns as well. So you can work that whole area back there. It's nice wadeable bottom. Work the mangroves that are back there, work the little mouths of those areas there. It's a little bit deeper water. Look for your bait, that's the main thing, and some grass. Those two are the key thing. Again, the Marker 54 jerk shrimp has been working really well. Again, in this area, there's been some decent fish that are caught back in this area here, so you just got to continue to work. Again, the patience game is going to be the key throughout the spring, probably heading into the summer. So just be aware of that. Pay attention to your ties and incorporate a minor or a major in there to that fishing day, and you should have a quality day.
For watching, I'm Captain Larry Bell.